What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Thursday edition of The Squeeze. I am Tyler Conium. We had a good night last night. It was a good Wednesday. I feel like the Tuesdays off really helped to act as a refresher, and I see the lines and see the boards a little bit better. We had a 2-1 night. The Phoenix Suns covered Kevin Durant's debut at a great game. They won by 14 points, so they covered the 10. And then we hit our parlay. We hit the Dallas Stars and New York Rangers. It was touch and go there for a minute. The Rangers were losing to the Flyers, and the Stars were losing to the Coyotes. Both won in regulation, so that cashed, which was nice. The Leafs lost badly. They got hammered by the Oilers, so we ended up just up 0.75 units because of the juice on the Maple Leafs, but still up a 2-1 day, and we've started March as good as you could start March. We start March up. We've got 3 bets today, 3 different sports. Going to dabble in a little bit of college basketball even. Full disclosure, not the best college basketball better, but there's some stuff that I'm getting into that I really, really like. So we've got 1 bet in that today. And then 1 bet that we won't know if we're going to cash it until Sunday. And that is PGA Tour. It's the Arnold Palmer Invitational. It's the second event of the year where most of the big players are out. I believe there's 44 of the top 50 players are in this game, or in this tournament this weekend. And the first pick that I have is Rory McIlroy, a top 10 finish at plus 105. Now, Rory McIlroy has won this tournament before. He won it in 2018, so it's 5 years ago, sure, but he's been playing well to start the season. Rory, so far this year, he's got 1 win, CJ Cup in South Carolina, finished 32nd at the Phoenix Open, and he finished 29th at the Genesis. And now guys are starting, we're getting into March, we're getting into the spring, we're getting closer to the Masters, the PGA. Guys are going to start ramping it up. Rory McIlroy traditionally has very good starts early on in the year. And I'm always in favor of anyone who's a past winner winning it again. That happens very often, especially in non-majors, which those tournaments aren't talked about quite as much, obviously, as the 4 majors. But players win the same course repeatedly, right? So Rory McIlroy, the Arnold Palmer is always at the Bay Hill Invitational, or has been since the 70s. Rory's been contending here for nearly a decade. He has 7 top 15s and 8 career tries, so we're going to try to get into the 10 because we've got the plus money there, which I really, really like. Rory's played well. It's not a bad bet to have him win this tournament either, but I like him just to simply finish in the top 10. I think he can do it. He's played well, and that's our first bet is Rory McIlroy, top 10 finish, plus 105 at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. It's hard to go into too much analysis aside from what have they done previously. This tournament starts today. I will have more bets going into the weekend on this. I like it quite a bit. Next up, we are going to go to the March Madness. The madness has begun in college basketball. We're going to Youngstown State in Ohio, who are playing host to Detroit Mercy today. This is an 8 p.m. tip-off tonight. I like Youngstown -8. Okay, the Youngstown comes into this game. They're 23-8 on the season. Detroit 14-18, and on the road, Detroit Mercy 5-12. Youngstown is 13-2 at home. This is being played at Beagley Center in Youngstown, Ohio. I think this is going to be a raucous crowd to kick off the tournaments. Detroit has, like I said, has not been very good at all. They are 1-6 ATS in their last 7 following a win, 1-5 ATS their last 6 games on the road, 3-13-1 ATS in their last 17 road games. They've not played on the road well at all. Meanwhile, Youngstown is 5-1 ATS in their last 6 Thursday games. They're 5-1 ATS in their last 6 home games versus a team with a losing record. And they're 4-1 ATS in their last 5 home games with a team with a road winning percentage of less than 40%, which, as we know, is the case. When you look at Ken Pom and you look at the rankings, Youngstown is much better. They're ranked 119 with their 23-8 record. Their adjusted offense is much better than Detroit. Detroit's ranked 201, so about 80 ranks higher is Youngstown. Their efficiency is much better. Their strength of schedule has been weaker, but they're a much better team overall. And when you look at the adjusted non-conference strength of schedule, it's the same thing as well. So they are a much better team offensively and defensively, ranked 32nd in offense. Detroit can't even come anywhere close. So I like Youngstown to cover this one at home. Crowd's going to be absolutely bananas. It's a Thursday night game at 8 o'clock on the road. Give me Youngstown -8 for -110 at DraftKings. And can you guess where we're going for the last bet of the day? That's right, we're going to the NHL, we're going to the Minnesota Wild, and we're taking the under, even though the Vancouver Canucks are much more of an over team than the Minnesota Wild are used to playing. Vancouver comes into this 35-18 to the over, where Minnesota is 36-23 to the under. However, Vancouver's actually been worse at home than they have been on the road. They're 11-16 at home, while they're 13-15 on the road. And at home, they're 500 to the over and to the under, 13-13. So their over-under is they're way more over when they play on the road. For whatever reason that is, I don't know. Maybe they actually play a little bit better at home, meaning they don't give up a million goals at home. When you look at the recent statistics for the Minnesota Wild, under is 4-0 in their last 4 games. Under is 5-0 in their last 5 versus a team with a losing record. Under is 5-0 in their last 5 road games. Under is 7-1 in their last 8 after scoring 2 or less goals in their previous game. Canucks, like I said, have played traditionally more over games. But even them recently, there was 9, but then there was 4, 5, 9, 6, 10, 6, 7. So they've been scoring, which they're not going to be able to do against Minnesota. They've scored 5, 1, 3, 4, 6, 4. They ain't scoring 4 or 5 goals against Minnesota Wild, even with Marc-Andre Fleury as a net, which is expected. That's just not going to happen. So I still suspect that game to go under, but we do have the push potential at 6 if it's a 4-2 final, even a 5-1 final for something like Minnesota. So I like that bet there. We're just going to probably bet Minnesota under every single time. We'll see. It's been a free coupon for us lately, so bit of a different card today. We're mixing it around. I don't like the NBA slate very much. The rest of the NHL slate I don't like very much, so we have to sort of dip and dunk and see what else we can do here. Not the most in-depth analysis, so you can take that, do with it what you will. You can check Ken Palm for the Youngstown Detroit. I believe the metrics have, where is it? There's one website, Hasla Metrics, which I really, really like. It's free, so you can browse around that as well. They do have Youngstown winning this game by 9, so I do like that. So take what you like. As always, bet against, fade or follow, as I will always say. So here are your bets for a Thursday. I like Rory McIlroy to finish in the top 10 of the Arnold Palmer Invitational, plus 105 at FanDuel. I like Youngstown State Penguins to cover the spread, -8. That's minus 110 at DraftKings. And give me the Minnesota Wild and the Vancouver Canucks to go under 6 for minus 110 at DraftKings. As always, drop a comment if you're fading or following. Follow me on Twitter at Tyler Conniam for more picks and props throughout the day. TikTok and Instagram for just the picks portion, and audio versions available on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Let's have a Thursday, and let's talk sports.